How's it going, everyone? We're going to take a look at the Rocket Toys of Hinata from Naruto. This is Naruto Shippuden, so when Hinata's a little bit older. If you have not seen the other Rocket Toys unboxings that I've done, do check those out. These are amazing figures. This is the box, the outer box. It does come in a brown shipper box for those that do want that. Well, it should do depending on where you buy it from. Mine did come in that. This is a very similar box to what we saw with Uchiha Madara, which I still haven't opened actually, and Itachi, I believe it was. Not as intricate or as nice as the Sengoku Basara Rocket Toys one, but it is still on theme with what Naruto is going for, right? With that kind of cream background. Here it's got a motif or the symbol that recognizes the Hyuga clan, which is what Hinata is part of. And then we've got 1/6 scale collected with their minds a bit kind of rough there. Bottom just says her name, Hinata. And then we've got another symbol on the right. I think this one is also, is it similar to the front or one that appears on Neji, I think? I can't remember. It's been a long time, right? This is number ROC number 6. And then the back is like so, pretty plain. You've got the sticker, Rocket Toy sticker right here. I haven't actually opened this at all. And then we've got the other side here. And then bottom is nothing really. So very simple, very plain box, very similar to what we've seen with the other Naruto figures so far. So let's get this open and see the other box inside, and then we get to the figure. With the cream box out of the way, we've now got an additional box, this time in purple or lilac, which matches kind of the outfit color choice that Hinata tends to wear. The box itself, though, in terms of design, is pretty much the same as what the cream one had as well. So you've got the same symbol here, the yin yang, and all the Chinese kind of characters, or the kanji in rings here as well. And then you've got her name at the bottom. Side symbols are basically the same, but now you've also got an addition on the back. Once you get the lid off, it's going to be just like the other Rocket Toys so far, at least, is you're going to be greeted with a nice portrait of the Hinata figure in kind of a pose of some kind. In this case, they've gone with the pose with the option parts attached. I actually don't remember these at all, but it looks pretty cool. This, you can, I guess, frame it or just put it away however you want. I tend to keep mine. Well, I actually repack my figures anyway, but it's cool that you get it. So if you do want to frame it, you can indeed do that. I really like the ones that I gave for the Rocket Toys, Sengoku Basara ones, and the Hatake Kakashi one as well was pretty good. Inside the box, I'm just going to move the box a little bit. Inside the box, you do also get a quick sheet to kind of tell you what's included. So you get all these hands, you get the option part here, different types of eyes. Give a close look at these eyes, at what's going on here. I actually can't really see the difference. There's a few markings on them that are different. With age, my eyes are getting bad. I've kind of starting to notice that. The portraits that you get with her, so you get the kind of smiling one here, and you get a slightly, I guess, cautious looking one. And then of course you get the one that's right here, which looks really cool as well. So we're going to take a close look at that. Plus you get the band around her neck, a base stand, which looks similar to what we've got with other Rocket Toys, and then alternative feet or same feet. Not sure how to change some stuff, so it kind of tells you a little bit here how to do it, but I will also show you that later on in this video. So yeah, skip ahead if you want to see that. This part does light up, which is very cool, similar to what we saw with the Hatake Kakashi Chidori effect part as well. So we'll get into that too later on. This is the Hinata Rocket Toys figure unboxed with the option parts, or some of them on the left, and then some alternate face plates or face sculpts on the right with this stand. We'll take a quick look at the figure first, and then we'll get into the option part. So I'm changing things around a little bit. Now, in case anyone forgets, this is a 1/6 scale figure, so she stands around 25 to 30 centimeters. I'll put the exact height on display. So I'm holding her at the moment because she doesn't stand super great on her own. She can do, just depends on if you've got kind of even weight distribution, but otherwise the stand included right there is better to kind of have if you're going to display her long term. So in general though, she looks pretty good so far from what we can see. Let's get a closer look though. So the original head sculpt attached to her, or the face sculpt, is going to be one where she's got a slight smile, just a gentle face here, no Byakugan activated. So you've got the lilac eyes on her, and then you've got the head sculpt, which is just kind of flowing down like so. And you've got the alternate right there, which we'll have a closer look at later on. So pretty nice overall so far. It meets the kind of regular high quality standards that Rocket Toys are known for. And if you can't tell already, which we'll go into soon, you can articulate these eyes and position them if you want her to look in a different direction. That's entirely possible with this face, with this figure, which is great. You've got the iconic outfit that she wears. Remember, this is the Shippuden outfit, so she's slightly older. It's a time skip thing, so a cool outfit from what I like anyway. I think is nice, and it maintains the same purple lilac color scheme that she's been wearing as a child as well. So you've got the sweater here, which has a material of like a windbreaker sort of tracksuit top here. This is a real zipper, which is awesome. I'll undo the zip just slightly here. gently because I don't want it to get trapped. I don't want, zippers getting caught is going to be annoying, so I don't want to kind of unzip it fully, which I have done off camera, but for the sake of on camera, I'm just going to try to do it a little bit here. So you can see I just moved it. Maybe that's not enough. Let's unzip it a bit more. It's a bit tiny to do. I'll zip it up and then, yeah, there we go. You can hear that. So a real zipper, which is great. I really was looking forward to that. And it's those kind of minor details that I would really like to see, or have had seen in the Kakashi figure on his vest, for example. But that's really cool to see. The colors are nice. The fabric is nice. You can see the sleeves, which has got, it's not like solid white. It's more of a whitish gray kind of tone to it. And then the cuffs are in that same lilac that maintains on the body of the jacket. You got stitching around there. You can see all the seams and stuff. I'm going to unfold her arms. Oops. Oh, something has happened here, which is the arms popped off at the shoulder. Now that's happened to me before, but I'll try and plug that in later on. I'll leave it for the time being. So you can see the rest of the jacket. I'm going to reveal her hoodie down here. The hood over here is on a bit of a wire. You've got a wire bit around this portion of the hood, so you can kind of pinch that and pose it if you need to. So for example, if you've got her kind of wearing the hood, which I guess is difficult to do with this hair, but well, maybe if you're just kind of positioning it in one way and you want to this kind of up pinched hair, you can kind of do that. Now the rest underneath, you can see I've already attached her headband there. That's not in any soft fabric, which I would have preferred. Maybe they could have added a similar treatment with the wire in there, or maybe just had a starched fabric, but it looks good. You got the metal plate there with the Konoha leaf symbol there. It's not actual metal, but it looks pretty good with a metal finish. Nice and cleanly done. And then you've got the vest that she's wearing underneath as well with a white layer. It looks like it's a vest with a white underlay stitching on it. So it's a double layer kind of method that they've used, which looks good. I quite like it. Let's get this back on a little bit more neatly, like so. And then underneath, though, so you can see a bit of the body tone here. She's got abs, as you can see there. This is a kind of pale skin tone, matches the face nicely and the hands nicely there. And then she's got elastic for the top of the pants. Pants are in slightly different shade from the top, which is fine. Still a purple blue, you might say. It looks really good as well. I quite like it. The material matches a little bit of what we've seen with other Rocket Toy figures. And then she's got similar kind of thing with Kakashi with the bandage, not a bandage, the wraps around one of her legs. And you got the leather strap, the faux leather strap here. This one I don't believe opens. I think I tried to open it with, I can't remember if it's her or Kakashi now, but it doesn't open. So that would have been cool. You know how they've added a zipper here? Nice little touch. Here, a nice little button, however small, would be cool. I know it's fiddly, but I just think those little touches for a very cool looking figure as it is, just, pushes the figure a bit further ahead. Coming down to the rest of the pants, you see the cuffed legs here going up to the calf part, which is really cool. I like this style of pant. It looks really, really good. I've got some slight creasing here. That might be because I've had it posed a little bit, or even in the crotch area I might have had it posed a little bit. Again, because it's all real fabric, you're going to want to be mindful of how you pose this figure, not to have the legs so wide apart, because it will add tension to the stitching and you don't want it to come undone. But pretty simple pants for what they are actually, but it looks good. Then we come down to her sandals, which are slightly different to what a lot of the characters in the series wear in this point. So hers are more exposed. She doesn't really have much of the covering. She's got the ankle strap around there and then various straps around the rest of the foot. And then this is the bottom, the sole view, like so. So it looks quite similar to Kakashi's in the bottom, but she's got more of a black kind of, not jet black, but still black versus Kakashi's one. So overall looks good. As I mentioned though, her arm has popped out of the body, so I need to get that kind of reset. So let's try and do that. It's happened a couple of times. I'm not sure if it's just an overall loose fitting, but usually I just kind of feel it and then get it back in. So I might have to do this off camera and then come back. So just to show you the arm before I plug it back in, you can see some dye, which can happen with some of these figures because of the costume and color on them. So I'm going to try to get this arm back in. I just took it out just to kind of see what it looks like. But you can see the peg inside there. Hopefully it doesn't come out again. This is a bit more of a closer view or clearer view then, because since I unzipped the whole thing, and this is the inside actually of her jacket, which looks fine. But let me get this plugged in and we'll carry on with the video. So I've got the arm back in, and actually I decided I'm going to leave it like that just for the sake of this video, just so you can have a much more clearer view of Hinata here. And then here you've got an even clearer view of the skin tone, which looks nice. So overall, this is a really cool looking figure. Now we're going to jump into the head parts in a second as well, but first we'll go through the articulation, because generally speaking, the head sculpts are some of the my favorite parts of Rocket Toy figures, and that doesn't change here. But first, we'll go into the articulation. Now naturally, because her jacket's going to be on, she might have some slight restrictions on her movement, but I'm going to show you just with the free arm like so. You've got the elbow joint here. Let's start with the elbow joint, which is nice and clear. There, you've got the wrist over here, which is all pretty standard, as you expect from most figures. And now hopefully the shoulder bit doesn't pop off. Now she can cross her arm over her chest like so, that amount. It might be slightly more reduced once you've got the jacket zipped up, but it should be okay. And then she can rise her arm up again. It might be slightly more restricted once you've got the actual full jacket on. It's up to you if you want to keep it on and what look you're going for, but generally speaking, in most of the artworks that she's in, plus in the anime, she's wearing the jacket at least fully and may or may not be zipped up. Most of the time it's zipped up, and I prefer that look. Articulation for the head, so looking down like so, even with the band, which is really good, and then looking up is not great because of the hair. That might be slightly different with the alternate right there, which is waving, but you know, she's not gonna look up that much. Tilting is nice as well, and turning all good. I didn't mention before actually, so I guess people are gonna ask. So the neck, which you can see is slightly squishy around the torso, not too squishy. So perverts, yeah, just don't get too excited. So there's slight flex there based on what I can feel, but I didn't look too much. I mean, I can kind of show you. There you go. That's what it looks like. No details, but that's how it is. Then where are we going? Yeah, we'll go with torso articulation. So twisting at the top like so, and then together with the bottom part at the belly part. I mean, so she's got a nice twist, and then crunching. I've missed it somewhere. Oh, there we go. I think it was misaligned. So I just need to reset this. Hold on a second. There we go. There. So I think I'll have to hold the jacket a little bit like so. So leaning back, got it like so, it leans back nicely. It looks way more aggressive than I am with the figure. I'm being quite gentle, by the way. And then leaning forward is around this much, with the top crunch is decent as well. I think mine is just being a little bit funny. So I think the body gets caught in some of the joints, so just play around with it and it should be decent. So she can get some decent movement from the top section anyway, but again, it looks more aggressive from what I'm doing on camera, but I assure you I'm trying to be quite gentle. The legs, I'm not going to go too far. I'm going to go about this much. Now you can go further, but I just don't want to, because I don't want to split the trousers. And then you've got the twist at the top here, similar to Kakashi. You got the leg bend, which I've shown a little bit before, like so. You can bend it further, but you might start getting creases here and seeing the joint and the bone structure there, which you might want to avoid. Obviously be careful when you kind of straighten it back. You don't want to pinch the fabric and get it caught, otherwise it might start leaving shapes. And then we come down to the twist of the ankle. There is no toe, by the way, sadly. You can position like so. You might need to take the foot off and position the peg to get this kind of angled position if you need to, but it should be okay. There is no toe position, toe hinge, as I was talking about. Same as Kakashi, and I think pretty much all of the Rocket Toys stuff. So I would like them to add a toe hinge. I think it would just finish the figure off. I know it's not the cleanest look, but maybe there's a clean way that they can do it. To be honest, I would rather have it than not, but it's fine. It's okay. It's not gonna be a deal breaker for me. That's pretty much the articulation for her. So she can get into some nice poses easily. You know, she can get ready for ninjutsu stuff easily, right? So bringing this down here, the foot like so, and then the head is the bit. It's gonna. I think my head peg might actually not be in the correct position, and then maybe she's got a kunai. Well, she doesn't come with a kunai actually, but maybe she's just, you know, leaping through the air or something like that. But if you do attach the twin lions, though, keep in mind that's going to add quite a decent amount of weight per lion per hand. So that's going to mean her arms potentially are going to droop a little bit. Depends on the position of the arm. Generally speaking, if she's got it down to the side, like this arm here, it should be okay. If you want her to kind of get further up, you're going to want to play around with it and position it like so. But yeah, those are going to be heavy, but we haven't talked about the optional parts yet. But generally, yeah, articulation and the way the figure looks, really, really happy with it. I'm going to stand her up now and leave her be, and then we'll talk about the option parts as well. It's been standing there all this time, and so you do get the display stand, which is similar to what Kakashi had, but this time it's colored for her, for Hinata. So she's got the kind of path symbols that she has related to, like Byakugan when it's activated on the base there, you can see with different kanji around the yin yang symbol. Nameplate is at the bottom, Hinata, and it is in the same sort of way that Kakashi's was, with a Konoha symbol as well. And then the rest is basically the same. So she doesn't stand straight up with this main attachment attached already. Mine's actually a bit loose. When I do kind of pick it up, it does kind of loosen up around, I think here, can't remember now, but yeah, just 2 hands, 1 on the base, 1 on the figure, so the figure doesn't fall down. I'm gonna leave her just standing in the background for the time being as we carry on. So we'll talk about the hands. Actually, we'll talk about this odd bit here first. Odd just because, well, they added a sachet of lavender, so it does smell of lavender in here. I don't know why, to be honest. Like, it doesn't have Hinata on it, so it's just a nice little Easter egg that I guess they just wanted to add in themselves. But you know, thoughtful indeed. We'll go into the hands. So the hands already attached to her were kind of relaxed hands. I didn't speak of those too much, but they did have a nice kind of skin tone paint or application or look to them. Then she comes with 2 fists like this, pretty standard fists. Everyone knows what fists look like. Hers are quite small, and then we've got these gentle hands like this. Oops, that's the wrong way around. We've got gentle hands with the thumbs on top of the finger. So these maybe she applies near, like when she's thinking, next to her chin, for example, her lips. Very cute hands. Next pair of hands are going to be on these ones. So these are kind of, yeah, together like this, right? When she's a little bit nervous, a little bit shy, I guess even calling you. You can use these in multiple ways. It's cool hands. You've got little gaps in between the curled fingers as well, as you can see there. Cool little hands as well. I'm just going to zoom in on these just so you get a better idea of what these look like, because I think her hands are quite good. Cool hands, and her nails are actually glossed for majority of the hands. Some gloss might not be as perfect, but I think for these hands, the palm strike hands are very good. So these are the palm strike hands. You've got a stray fur hand or fur piece or hair there. So these are palm strike hands. Very nice looking hands indeed. Very long fingernails, slim hands. Really nicely done as well for these. Super nicely done. I've got some very harsh light on this, so it looks way blown out. Sorry about that. Final hands then are these Ninpo hands. You've got the Ninpo hands naturally, of course. The nails again, nicely done nails, nicely done fingers. The curve of the hands, so they're not fully touching the palms. They do have a little bit of a gap, which I like. It's a bit more realistic there. So those are the hands. Very cool selection of hands. Plenty of hands to play around with. So that's really cool to see. They're going to zoom out again for Hinata. Zoom back in. There we go. And then we can jump into the cool head sculpts, or the face sculpts. So we had the regular one, which was just there, and now we've got the alternate one where she's a little bit nervous, as you can see. Really nicely done. Honestly, the head sculpts on RocketToys just always 10 out of 10, and I really love RocketToys for that. It's one of my favorite things about them is just how fantastic and beautiful their head sculpts look, whether it's a male character or a female character. So I'm going to zoom in here. So this is a slightly nervous expression for Hinata here. Eyebrows angled up, really clean eyebrow paint application. The eyes, the wrinkles on the eye, or the eye flap or eye fold, and then the eyelashes, really nicely done. You've got some slight raising there on the eyes. Just looks super good. And then you've got slight blush on the cheeks, which looks great. Nice simple application there. Subtle, but it looks super good. And then the sculpt as well looks great, both sides. And the lips also look good. All the features look super nice, super soft, very feminine, and just like Hinata. I'll show you the ears too. The ears look pretty good as well. Now the heads do have a slight magnetic piece on top of them as well, just for extra secure fitting. And then, as I mentioned, you can get the eyes to articulate. So you've got this little blue piece here. You can do it with your fingers if you've got thin fingers. Otherwise, just plug it in, and then you can reposition the eyes like so. I mean, I've got to talk about the eyes. The lilac on the eyes and then the gloss finish on the eyes is just so good. So good. So absolutely really beautiful stuff. I mean, once you do position the eyes, sometimes like when you pull them out, it can jog the eye a bit, and then it's a bit frustrating to get it level again. But just play around with it, and it will look really good. I don't recall these faces having any UV on them like the Itachi figure had or the Kakashi figure has. I it doesn't say anything like that on the manual. I think it's more, the only light up effect is the twin lions. So yeah, these are the eyes as they come, but very cool. I love that head sculpt. And then we're going to come into this one, which I've already attached to the swaying hair. So we'll talk about the hair first. Her standard hair is fine. It's very nicely painted. You had the blue highlights and then the white highlights as well. So similar thing going on here, but the sculpt is clearly very, very different. So you've got swaying of the hair, whether it's wind or in battle or in action. It's a beautiful, beautiful looking head sculpt or hair sculpt right there. You can see the seam, especially on this side. On my one, you can see a little bit of the seam and then a little bit of, I guess not chipping, but it's not super smooth where my finger is pointing. But again, it's so minor, so minor, but it looks amazing. These strands here, super nicely done as well. That covers her cheeks and then it flows back on this side, and then you got the rest of the hair that flows beautifully and elegantly like so, with nice blue colors on there, blue highlights. Super nice layering of paint. So it's great. It's a fairly weighted piece. So if you're going to add this plus the twin lions with the base, you've got a fairly weighted figure overall. So yeah, just kind of keep that in mind when it comes to posing. Generally speaking, it's actually okay with the head and it looks amazing. This is easily my favorite way to pose this figure is with this head sculpt and with this hair at least. Now, talking about this head sculpt, you can see straight away she's got the Byakugan activated, which means she's got the veins on the cheeks coming from the eyes on both sides. Now one side does get covered a little bit like so. The ears are the same. Rest of the features are generally the same. Her mouth is slightly open, ever so slightly, from in this pose or in this face. Eyebrows are different with a bit more serious, kind of in the mode kind of what's the word? Expression. And then you've got the eyes, of course, are different as well. So same color lilac eyes, but this time you've got the kind of effect going on inside with the pupils as well. So that looks super good. I'm going to take this off because once again, you can actually change the eye position. And this will actually show you how you can do it. So just pull it off like so. The magnet holds it better in place. And then I'll put the head sculpt away. And then I'll just show you again. So you can change the eyes at the back on all three heads. Finishing off the option parts, we've got her twin lions. I kind of tapped out of the anime, to be honest, at this point, and the manga still carried on, but I was reading it very fast. And this is basically one of her kind of new jutsus that she uses in the war arc, I believe it is. So she activates jutsu with 2 lions on each fist, and they look super good. These are sharp, by the way, at the mains. So watch your fingers, like my finger right here, this one I'm wiggling, is being pricked. They are sharp, and then changing them can be a pain because they're sharp. So this is how they look unlit, just no light effects at the moment. They do both have a light effect. And just to focus on the one of them at this stage, so you can see the lion here with all the kind of curved textures and all kind of curved sculpting going on into the main part and into this kind of wave part at the end, which looks very cool. Then we go into the snout, which looks great as well, with the eyes in white on both of them. So I've got less light on this side, so but they are both white, and you've got the eyebrow curved texture as well. You've got the teeth, which look good. Here's a close look at the teeth. Gnashes look good. And then just to show you how you can take this off, so this is where the battery would go. So this is just a head on its own, and then you can see this small hole where I'm pointing, not the big gaping hole. That's actually where the wrist peg or the forearm peg would go into. She doesn't have to have hands attached, just directly attach it to the forearms. And then this is the bit which houses the battery. So the battery, I forgot the exact name. You need the LR1130. I'm just reading it off the sheet. So that's what you need here. You've got 2 batteries in there. I've already applied those. You have to take it all out and attach it. And then you will use the tool, the extra tool on there to light it up. I'll show you that here, and I'll show you again later. So this is lights up in 3 different ways and then off, right? So that's just quite easy to do. Batteries are not included in this figure at all, so you do need to pick those up if you want to have that working. Both do light up. Both of them again do light up, so that's quite cool. Both identical, they're twin dragons, and they are very, very, very painful to attach. So again, that's where you need to attach them. Suggestion is to just take this part off and then attach it, but yeah, do it how it works for you. Let's actually get into changing some option parts now. Simple ones, a couple of head changes and then hand changes, and then maybe we'll show you the twin dragons too. or twin lions. I'm going to try and be gentle here. It will look, of course, more aggressive than I actually am. That's just the nature of doing this stuff on camera. So pull off the head. Okay, that was a bit aggressive, I admit. Pull off the head, and that's how it's going to look. I'm going to lie head down. The table is clean. I'm always going to make sure my table is clean before I lay down any of these expensive toys and figures. This one, we'll just pull off. Actually, no, we're going to leave this one as it is. I'll show you the head swap, but I won't attach this back. Just pull it off again, like so. And then if I want to attach this head to here, all you got to do is just plug it back in. I could feel the magnet pull of the head. So that's how it looks with the Byakugan face on that regular hair sculpt. Now let's try and swap with this one. I'm gonna forget the Byakugan. I'm gonna give her the happy face on here, so fits nicely as well. Keep in mind the bangs here. You don't want to damage or bend them unnecessarily. I'm gonna attach this. I'm gonna leave her jacket as it is, and then attach this. Actually, let me show you the neck more clearly here. It's slightly soft, slightly, but underneath is the kind of hard plastic. Line this up. You might need to try this a couple of times, and then I usually pinch at the belly, not the chest, just because I don't want to damage those, because it does feel a little bit flexed there. Yeah, I'm gonna leave the jacket like so. It's basically coming off now. Leave that. Oh, I left the band. I left her Konoha band. For the sake of this video, let's just leave it like that. We'll leave the band here. Maybe she's just kind of, getting ready to kind of wind down for the day. That's how it looks with that head, which looks incredible. I love this head sculpt. It's just so good. You can just have her posed really nicely, just wind blowing. It's super cool. Love it. Even just that basic pose like that, which is a very typical anime pose, but I love it. I really like the character as well. Hinata is a great character. No, I know a lot of people don't like her, but I do, and of course a lot of people do like her too. That's how that one's gonna look. Let's change her hand. She's a bit heavy for reasons. Let's plus the head sculpt, as I mentioned, the hair even. I'm gonna pull this out. This is a 1/6 scale, so you want to be a bit more careful with this, just because it's more expensive. If you do need to use a hairdryer, then use a hairdryer gently, ideally on the lowest temperature. If you want, dip it in some warm water, not hot. Just, be careful either way. We're going to attach which hand should we do? I love the palm hand, but I also like the nervous hand. The nervous hand is quite, maybe more iconic than okay, nervous hand, you see how it's flexing because of my finger? Just kind of keep that in mind so you don't damage the finger and make it crack by accident. So there we go. We've got the hand. The jack has basically just come off at this stage. And here we can just position the hand. And maybe she's just, thinking, getting quite, oh, look. Maybe she can just hold onto a jacket. There we go. Really cute looking figure. I'll position this a bit more. It's a very adorable option for this if you want to use that hand. Of course, you do see the joint. So the joint is pretty butters, actually. Now, I haven't actually properly seen it until now. So the joint, once bent, is not the most elegant, that's for sure. So we want to bring this maybe down here. So keep the jacket on, guys. Just keep the jacket on, just so she doesn't have a really ugly bend at the elbow. And I'm sure it's going to be the same for the knee as well. But that's how you're going to change that. Now, let's try and change to the twin lions, which is going to be a bit tricky. So I'll do it off camera, but using the suggestions, as I said, of taking this part off first. So this is Hinata with the two twin lions already attached. So it's a bit difficult to do it on camera. So I've just kind of done it off camera, attached it like so, and got it posed up. So this is kind of how I had it posed on the display cabinet for the time being. You can obviously change it to what you want, but for sake of simplicity, this is how it is. Now, to light it up, I already attached the magnets as well, and I'll kind of show that in a little bit more detail in a second. So you use this tool here, which has the batteries or magnet pieces inside. Now, for this one, the right or the left hand, I can just poke it in like so, and it should just light up. Sorry, no, it's this one. I remember it's this one. So this one, you can see, you just light it up like that. This one, you might have to just point at the head there, and then it will light up, and then tap it again, and then you'll get the soft kind of wave or pulsing light. Tap it one more time, and then you'll get the flickering light, and then tap it one more time, You don't need to do direct touching. You can just hover it and then we'll just turn it off. So I'll leave the right side on for the time being. With the light on, it looks really cool, but not something I will use too much. I'm not sure how long the batteries last. It's probably going to depend on the battery types that you get. But I had it on for quite some time and it looked decent. And personally, even if you don't want to use it, like I did for a long time, it still looks good. But just for the sake of difference here, the right hand is on and then the left hand it's not. So I'm just going to lift this off the stand and show you a closer look. This is what it looks like. You can see it glows onto her clothes as well, which looks good. I'm going to tilt her sideways just so you can see a bit more of the twin lion. And then here's one with the twin lion off. So it's pretty easy to do, like I said, in terms of once you've got it set up, but attaching it to the arms itself can be a bit tricky, especially because these bits, the kind of mane on the lion and then the tail bit here of the mane is quite sharp with your fingers, and then you don't want to damage or tear the sleeves on her clothes either. So it can be a bit of an annoyance to do it, but otherwise this is kind of how it is on there, and then you just kind of line it up. So for me personally, I took this off and then attached the head, and then I would attach this piece back on and it looks fine. Do it the way that works for you, but that's just how it was for me. It was easier for me that way. And that's how it is with the lights on. It looks pretty good in my opinion, with or without the lights. One thing I do want to mention when it comes to attaching the twin lions, or maybe even the other hands, is roll the sleeves up or push them up a bit and pinch the actual body or the forearm itself, because this is a bit slippery when it's on with the forearm bit. You can maybe see or hear it. It's quite slippery, so it might be a bit easier. You can get a better grip just pinching it here. Either way, the twin lions are going to be slightly annoying to get on. So that's basically the RocketToys Hinata figure. To summarize, this is a really cool RocketToys figure once again. They nail the head sculpts in particular. Absolutely love what they do with all of their Naruto RocketToys figures. Hinata is one of my favorite Naruto female characters, so I'm glad I picked this one up. Looks great. Everything looks great. The hair sculpt, the alternate hair sculpt looks fantastic. It's my favorite one in this set. Couple that with the Byakugan face looks incredible. And you got the twin lions with the light up effect or without. And the option hands that she has, she's got a nice selection of option hands, and there's a lot of detail packed into the figure, from the hair, the eyes, to the included zipper on her jacket, which is really cool. I like that attention to detail. Once again, RocketToys nailing these figures. Really awesome figure overall. I got mine, by the way, from 1/6 kit for the retail price, which I can't remember off the top of my head. Check there if you still want to have this, if you want to buy it. I'm not sure if it's available anymore. Otherwise, your best bet is probably going to be third-party resellers now at this stage. All in all, great toy, great release by RocketToys, and can't wait to see more.